In this video, banished wine cellars, a purple evil ancient, Megs hate purple balls, and ancient skeletons that are poor. Hey you beautiful buccaneers, Falcore here. So the Insiders build has finally received a massive update, and it's given us our first proper look at what's waiting for us in the first month of Season 18. There's quite a bit to unpack here, so I thought now would be the perfect time to dive in for a little showcase, share some honest but constructive feedback on what's being added. As always though, keep in mind that everything you see here is subject to change before the full release, so if you see something you love or something you absolutely despise, don't grab your pitchforks just yet. Feedback is essential, not flinging your peg legs in the air and crying about it. Now then, let's start with the big one. With this latest update, every large island in the Devil's Roar now has a guaranteed sarcophagus containing one of the brand new Eternal Guard mini-bosses. This will not be the case in live build. These sarcophagi will turn up on various islands throughout the world, but never guaranteed on one singular one. Naturally, being the calm and composed pirate that I am, I sailed straight there, armed with a couple of trusty perpy bubble boom staffs, and on the way I made a discovery. Apparently, the ancient megalodons really don't appreciate being zapped with those staffs. Let's just say that was a short-lived science experiment. Anyway, as I approached the island, the volcano decided it was a good time to erupt. So... Okay, now we can go. When I finally got ashore, I started hunting for this so-called sarcophagus, and they're pretty hard to miss. They give off this eerie purple glow that lights up against the scorched landscape of the Roar. To be honest, they're surprisingly pretty. I was expecting something grim and gothic, but they look more like they belong at Woodstock, surrounded by half-comatose hippies lying on tie-dye blankets, which, in a strange way, loops back around to being ominous again, just a different kind of ominous. To awaken the Eternal Guard, all you have to do is light the candles placed around the sarcophagi, but stand back once you do, because when this thing bursts open, it does so with the force of a powder keg. And there it is, the Eternal Guard, the first genuinely new enemy type we've seen in Sea of Thieves since the Ashen Winds update that isn't just a recolor or rebrand. Cue the crowd cheering. Now, these mini-bosses actually have a really cool design and a handful of unique abilities. For starters, they can phase shift, basically turning invisible and teleporting around like the Predator. While phased, they're completely invulnerable, so you'll need to wait for them to reappear before you can get a hit in. They can also throw poison bombs that leave behind a sticky purple mess, which not only looks great, but adds a nice layer of chaos to the fight. On top of that, they'll use blowpipes to pepper you from a distance, throw hunting spears with disturbingly good accuracy, and even summon a small army of ancient skeletons to back them up. And before you even think to ask, no, these ancient skeletons don't drop ancient coins, don't be silly. You also have the ability to stun them from their attacks if you do enough damage, which is a small thing, but the first time Sea of Thieves has done anything like this, so good job guys. Now while these fights are fun and definitely fresh, they do have some rough edges that need sanding down. First up, their phase shift ability. It's cool, but it's a little too much right now. They zip around a little too much and too far, and because they can't cross water like most AI, you'll often find yourself dancing around puddles, trying to line up shots while they pop in and out of existence. If Rare turned down the teleport distance by just 2/3, it would feel far more manageable and less like fighting a mosquito on speed. Second, the hunting spears. When they miss a throw, the spear just vanishes, which feels like a missed opportunity. It'd be brilliant if the missed spears stayed in the ground so you could pick them up and fling them back. This adds a fun risk-reward element, especially since your best window to attack is when the Eternal Guard reappears for just a second or two. Third, the ancient skeletons they summon. These things are supposed to be relics from a bygone age, yet they're toting blunderbuss and firing bullets? Give them something fitting, some blowpipes, daggers, or even just a bone club. They deserve a little more flavor than just being a skeleton with a new hat. And lastly, geyser explosions. Just no. Can we please get those red-bearded out of the game entirely? Once you finally take down the Eternal Guard, don't lower your guards just yet, because they will explode again with the force of a keg. Keep your distance, and then go grab your key and bask in the satisfaction of victory. The key itself is a nice touch, a recolored version of the one from the Sunken Kingdom questline. It's technically a reskin, sure, but considering how obscure the original was, I'll give it a pass. At least it's not something ridiculous like the Skull of Siren banished ancient things or so, I don't know. Now, what does this shiny new key open? I'm glad you asked. It unlocks one of 3 ancient sanctuaries scattered across the Devil's Roar on smaller islands, where the smuggler's client has apparently been busy excavating with his black powder barrels. Inside these sanctuaries, well, let's just say that expectations and reality don't quite line up. There's no puzzle, no riddle, no trap, just a locked door and a pile of loot. It's less a sanctuary and more of a banished wine cellar, but hey, that doesn't quite have the same marketing appeal, does it? That said, the loot's actually solid. You'll find banished ancient tribute chests, and smaller variants, banished skulls, some intriguing ancient tablets, mermaid gems, something that looks like a weird ancient star map, and a healthy spread of ancient chests to help haul stuff back to your ship. Each vault also contains extra sealed chambers you can unlock with ashen keys, which is a surprisingly nice touch. Finally, a reason to hoard those things instead of just letting them rot. You'll also notice strange symbols etched into the floors and walls, some familiar, others entirely new. It feels like these sanctuaries were originally intended to include a puzzle mechanic, but time constraints might have pushed that to a later update, or never. Still, some of these rooms tie directly into previous adventures, suggesting Rare's keeping that ongoing lore thread alive, especially involving the smuggler's client and what we now know. If you're interested to know who that client is, I won't spoil it here. Check out the video in the top right-hand corner now for a look at who the client is and what their agenda is. After cracking open one of these wine cellars, I gathered the loot and hauled it back. It took about 45 minutes total, including the boss fight. It honestly feels like a nice haul given the time it took. I quickly sold everything because it was nearly dinner time and tacos wait for no pirate, and then I checked my logbook. 55,000 gold. Not bad at all for a casual solo run. It's definitely shaping up to be a strong gold-making route in the live build, especially for smaller crews or duos looking for something new to sink their hooks into. All in all, considering this is just the first month's worth of Season 18 content, it's honestly looking pretty solid. Sure, the sanctuaries could be a little bit more elaborate, and the Eternal Guard needs a few adjustments, but it's something fresh, something different, and it finally feels like momentum again. It's not groundbreaking, but compared to, say, doing a cargo run for a faction that still isn't technically a faction, this feels like a step in the right direction. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's look at the Insiders update. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What do you love? What do you hate? And what would you tweak? And of course, don't forget to lift up the leg of the like button and tickle its feet, and put the subscribe button in a headlock and give it a proper head nuggle. But until next time, stay safe, stay salty, and as always, happy sailing.